Time now for our daily look at the papers here in France, and for that I'm joined on set by Florence Villeminot. Hello,
Thomas,
Florence.
how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
Grand. We're starting out here in France, of course, with the centrist presidential candidate Emmanuel Macron, who's come under fire for some rather risque comments he's made.
That's right. Now, he was in Algeria and made some very controversial comments about colonialism. Now, France's colonial past is a touchy subject, to say the least. What did he say? Well, he said that colonization was a crime against humanity, a real barbarity. We must apologize to those that we hurt, reconcile our different memories to build a future. Now, these comments really sparked a lot of outrage, particularly on the right. And so let's take a look. You can see here the front page of Le Figaro, the main right-wing paper, saying that this comment really sparked an outcry.
The Conservative candidate François Fillon has called it an insult to French history.
That's right. He said this was not a comment that was fit for a French presidential candidate. But what's interesting is inside Le Figaro, there's an interview with Macron. You can see it here, where he says he doesn't regret what he said. Look at this quote here. He says, "I have no lessons to receive." Essentially, no one can teach me a lesson about loving the French Republic. But Le Figaro really disagrees with Emmanuel Macron. Le Figaro says that his comments were an inexcusable insult to French history, to our ancestors. Le Figaro essentially says that Macron is playing a very dangerous game in the lead up to the presidential election. Essentially, he's trying to fish for votes with these comments, but Le Figaro says essentially it could end up costing him in the end.
Okay, from one presidential candidate to another now. François Fillon was dealt a new blow yesterday. France's financial prosecutor said she would pursue an investigation into this whole fake job scandal that's engulfed him.
That's right. We've been talking about this Penelopegate scandal for some time now. Now, this is the financial prosecutor, Eliane Houlette. Now, essentially, she said she's not going to drop the case, but what's interesting is she didn't actually announce further steps. So she has lots of options. She could drop the case, she could take it further by appointing an investigating magistrate, or she could send it straight to trial. So Aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien says that though this is a blow for Fillon because he was hoping she was going to drop the case, it's not all over for him yet. And so you can see it's saying that he has actually won a little bit of time. He's bought some time with what she said yesterday.
Meanwhile, the left-wing paper Libération is also focusing on Fillon this Friday morning, and they're investigating what he did after his 5-year run as Nicolas Sarkozy's prime minister.
That's right. Now, like many former ministers or leaders, he ended up going around the world giving very lucrative conferences, and Libération investigates more and finds it a little bit fishy, particularly because he was using his contacts, his friends, who happen to be very high-ranking friends. So you can see they're talking about petit business entre amis, shady business between friends. So if you want to know a little bit more about just what Fillon did after his run as prime minister, you can read more in Libération. Between 2013 and 2016, he gave at least 11 conferences, so in countries like Russia, Qatar, and he gave several conferences in Kazakhstan, for instance. Libération estimates that he earned between 20,000 and 30,000 euros for each conference, so and that ends up adding up to quite a lot. Now, Libération does point out that there's nothing illegal about giving these conferences, but it does judge François Fillon and says this is morally questionable activity from François Fillon.
Certainly a very large amount of money that he was earning there. He's also taken a real tumble in opinion polls in the wake of this so-called Penelopegate. And many papers are saying this is playing into the hands of the far-right leader Marine Le Pen.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of L'Opinion. Now, keep in mind, we have 80 days to go before round 2 of the presidential election. And this is the question on everyone's mind. Could Marine Le Pen win? Now, a lot of polls suggest that she's pretty much guaranteed to make it to round 2. She's going to win round 1. But could she actually win the final round as well? Could she be the next president of France? Well, according to L'Opinion, a month ago, everyone would have said no way. But given the unexpected, unprecedented turn that this presidential election, the campaign at least, is taking, everything is possible. That being said, though, she is also facing her own fictitious job scandal at the European Parliament. So everything really is up in the air.
and the French presidential election, which is looming for this April and May, is sparking interest overseas as well.
That's right. And apparently, so did the previous election in 2012. Libération has joined forces with WikiLeaks, actually. You can see they published a 7-page document today outlining how U.S. intelligence services were spying on French candidates. It's incredible. You can see those papers there, those highlighted bits. It's pretty incredible. It's kind of like a shopping list from the CIA to the NSA. Essentially, the CIA is asking the NSA to use its espionage tools to collect information on the main political parties and on the main candidates, starting with Nicolas Sarkozy. It's pretty fascinating stuff. So you can read it here in Libération, and it makes you kind of wonder what's going on right now.
Indeed. And finally, Florence, you have a word on a little restaurant that's got a big surprise. What does that mean?
That's right. This is a great story you can read in Le Parisien. So this is a little restaurant called Le Bouche à Oreille. It's a working class bistro in the city of Bourges, which is right smack in the middle of France. Now you can get a homemade hearty meal there for €12.50. Moules frites, mussels and French fries, or bœuf bourguignon.
Cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Supposedly it's delicious, homemade. Well, the 2017 Michelin guide, which just came out this month, awarded it a star. Now, getting a star is a pretty big deal for a restaurant, particularly a little bistro like this. The problem is it was a big mistake. The Michelin guide wanted to award it to another restaurant called Le Bouche à Oreille, in a completely different part of France. You can see that it on the map there. This is in Boutervilliers, which is south of Paris, so quite a long way from Bourges. The mistake has been rectified, but it's really good for the business of the Bouche à Oreille in Bourges. They say that they're swamped with reservations, and they can't believe their good luck.
It's good luck for them indeed. Thank you very much, Florence Fillon, for that spin there through the French papers this morning.